Hello, buddy. Oh. Hi, honey. Did I wake you up? Oh, you're so warm and toasty. Hi, honey. My little buddy. My beautiful little boyfriend. He makes me think of a little cake in a cake pan right here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll leave you alone. You continue to nap. I love you, honey. I love you. Yeah? Oh, do you hear him? Yeah, okay. You enjoy your nap. Hey guys, how are ya? Welcome back to my channel. It's me, Steven. It is 3:31 in the afternoon on October 4th. Happy Vlogmas Day 4. And happy birthday to my friend Marcus. Martha. So Marcus and I became friends in, I think, 1992. I was selling hot sauce in a kiosk in Faneuil Hall Marketplace, Quincy Market, and Marcus was selling t-shirts on the other side of the market. And I think a mutual friend of ours, Brandon, introduced us, and we became instant friends. Marcus and I both would make very, very questionable choices in the early 90s. And I can't even say, honestly, they were questionable choices because we didn't question ourselves. We just did these things. And some of them were truly, truly, in every way, indescribably heinous. And illegal in many times. We would just, oh my God. And not that we did them together at first. We would find each other in the middle of situations that I can't even describe. And we'd look up and be like, oh, hey, it's you. How are you doing? And we just became really, really close friends because we both had, well, we made some bad choices together. But I don't think we ever ended up in jail together. Did we? No, we didn't. But it's Marcus's birthday. We would call each other, I would call him Martha. People called him Martha. He would call me Sib, short for Sybil. And I always thought, like, we called him Martha because his name started with an M, and that he used to call me Sybil because my name started with an S. Sybil, Stephen, Martha, Marcus. And one day he looked at me and went, that's not why I call you Sybil. And I'm like, oh, why do you call me Sybil? Multiple personalities. Because you never knew what you were going to get. You were going to get some rageful, angry, like vigilante, or some sweet, funny. You never knew what you were going to get with me. I was multiple. I was just crazy. I was crazy. And Marcus was my friend through all of it. We were probably like best friends until I got sober. And then we had a little bit of a difficult time there because I was getting sober, and to get sober I had to change everything. I had to like leave a lot of things behind, and I had to walk away from a lot of relationships. And because anytime I'm around those people, I was going to use. And Marcus was, our relationship really took a big ding in that, and we really weren't in the same circles for a while. But with time, we became friends again, really, really close friends. Although I never see him. We only see each other probably every couple years. I think the last time I saw him was probably pre-COVID, when I had a layover in Connecticut, in Hartford. But yeah, so we're still friends. We still message each other once in a while, but we would see each other. And you have friends like this, I'm sure. We would see each other after 5 years, 6 years, and instantly we're back together at the same rhythm and tempo. But so I'm thinking about Marcus right now. I sent him a little birthday message earlier telling him he's only 1 year away from getting senior benefits. Because he always laughed that I was the older and he was the younger. But Oh, happy birthday, Marcus. So I am at Walmart yet again. I seem to be here every 2 days. I have to get a bag of cat food for Eleanor. Buddy's bags are larger and cheaper, and this is the one that she really likes. And so I have to bring the empty bag because I never remember which one to get. And then I might buy some food for myself. And then I was wondering what to share with you today as for Vlogtober. And the only thing I can think of right now is what to do or how to handle working a flight, particularly a long one, or a trip with another flight attendant that you can't stand. I know that's a strange thing for me to say, but occasionally you're going to meet, you'll meet flight attendants that you get along with, that you fall in love with, that you're just like, yeah, we didn't really work well together, whatever. Nice to see you, nice to fly with you, bye-bye. But then there, once in a while, there's going to be a flight attendant that you just can't stand, and you have to sit next to them for 5 hours. And so I was thinking like, that's happened to me. So I figured I'd chat with you, give you a couple examples of what I do or how I handle that kind of situation. I'm not going to address any particular, I am going to share one story because I think it's really perfect for like why I couldn't work with them. But I'm not going to share any stories about personal experiences with flight attendants that I've worked with anywhere near recently, because I certainly don't want anyone to be like, oh, he's talking about me on YouTube. Snap, let me call HR. So let me go into Walmart real quick and I will talk to you about that in just a few minutes. All right, see ya. I don't know why I just didn't take a picture of the bag when I was at the house. I just took a picture of the bag in the car, so I don't have to bring the bag in the store. I'm an idiot. I love this little shirt jacket. Are you familiar with Orvis as a company? I used to love walking into the Orvis store in Boston because I felt very fancy when I was walking in there. But yeah, I got this at Goodwill, of course. All right, let's get inside. They don't have the exact bag. It looks like this one with a red thing on it with salmon. It's blue buffalo. Maybe this is adult with salmon. Should I try it? She's so picky. I'll try it. And I think I'll grab another one of these. All right, so the next stop is going to be the post office at the airport. I am kind of going to give up on... Oh, there's a parking spot right here. Not the best. Oh, and someone's going to grab it right now. Are they going to get it? Oh, no, they're going to drive past it. Yay, it's mine. They think they're going to find a better one. They're not. Yay. Okay, so, what does that say, that sign? Once again, I make the spectacular choice to leave the house during traffic hour. Yay, and traffic is super, super thick right now. But I wanted to go to the post office. It's 90 degrees here in Las Vegas, but that's going to change very, very soon. It's going to change even sooner in other parts of the country, and I'll have to start carrying my winter coat with me. The challenge with a winter coat is either you stuff it in your rollerboard and pack it away, and you have to literally unpack your bag on the plane before you leave the plane. Say you're in Detroit and it's minus 14 degrees. You gotta like fish for your coat and put it on and blah, blah, blah. Or you tie the sleeves onto the handle of your rollerboard, but your coat falls off and it drags on the ground through the airport. There's all sorts of trauma around winter coats. I hate having a coat with me when I'm traveling for work. But there's like all these different kinds of straps designed to hold your other bags onto your bags. I don't like a lot of straps and stuff. So what I saw on Amazon was this. It looks like a giant hair tie. It's got that little metal bit. Can you see it? It is meant for your trash bucket, your trash barrel. So you put your trash bag in there and then put the elastic around the top of it to stop your bag from sliding into the bucket, which I really can't imagine working. But I saw that and went, That would be ideal. So what I'm going to do is slide that on the top of my rollerboard handle, put my coat on there, slide the other band over the other side of my rollerboard handle, and hopefully it won't be like this super tight strap, but it'll just hold gently my coat on top of my bags. And that's my goal. They gave, I don't know if I spent $5. I don't know how much I spent, but I get a bag of like, it looks like 30 of them. I don't know. So if they work out, it looks like I'll be giving them to my coworkers as I go through the next season. But that's why I stopped off at the post office. What I did not expect at the post office was this letter. Now this is the back of the envelope. How sweet is that? And I don't want to share her address, but this is, look at that little decoupage cat right there. This was a letter. It's a 7-page handwritten letter by Gloria. Gloria had me crying walking from the airport back to my car because you know I like to cry. But Gloria found my channel through one of my videos where I talked about having dentures. Now, I don't talk about them all the time, but often enough that most of you know I don't have, like, my teeth are plastic. And she apparently saw the video I made about my journey from surviving broken, jagged teeth at the gum line, because that's where I was, to the point where I was able to have dentures and be comfortable and happy with them, and to be comfortable, happy, and free of the shame of having dentures, because teeth, whatever, in this world, in this society, if you have bad teeth, you're looked at differently than other people. But she saw that video and watches my other videos and said some very, very kind things. And she's been sober for like 40 years as well, but we share other common interests as well. So it was just really, really a touching letter. So I want to say thank you very much to Gloria for that letter. It was really, really, it touched me deeply. So what I wanted to share with you guys today during Vlogtober, I had a dream last night, or a nightmare, that I had to work with a particular person I was not fond of. Thankfully, this person does not work out of my Las Vegas base. They're not based with me. They're out of a different base. And I honestly can't even remember when I worked with them. This had to be just as COVID was slowing down and we no longer had to wear masks. So I don't know when that was, but I remember working with this person, and it was probably one of the worst experiences I've had working with someone else as a flight attendant. And I wanted to share not so much the story of what happened, but really what I did to handle it. Because as a flight attendant, we have the fantastic opportunity to work with many, many, many different types of people from all different walks of life. And we have a fantastic opportunity to learn from one another and to hear stories that, I've met indescribably fantastic people as a flight attendant in the jump seat and in the passenger seats. But once in a while, you're going to find someone who just rubs you the wrong way so badly that you have rug burns. I mean, bad, right? I mean, infuriating bad. And so I want to share just a little teeny bit of one part of the day, little teeny experience that was sort of the warning flag that I was going to have a difficult time, and a little bit about what I did to handle the situation, but also what I should not have done, possibly, as well. So learn from my experience in both ways. So what had happened was this passenger was on the plane. I was chasing, and you know how I hate chasing. I was chasing. So I was the fourth flight attendant on an Airbus A320. And this passenger was on the plane, and she had this beautiful little dog. Now, I'm not a really fan of little tiny dogs, but it was a little human. It was just, the eyes were amazing and just so sweet and so well behaved. And it was a tiny little dog being dwarfed by the service animal vest that I was wearing. And I said, it's a service animal. It doesn't really need to be in its carrier. And she said, yeah, well, I was yelled at by the gate agent, which our gate agents, if you don't know, our gate agents that work in Fort Lauderdale are the only ones that actually work for us. Every other gate agent that works for my airline is a third party. They're hired through somebody else. And I don't think they're ever really as invested in the customer as I am. I know that for a fact. We have some amazing ones, but it leaves room for a lot of people to not show love, so to speak. So this gate agent said, no, you don't have the piece of paper. There's a hard copy they have to have. The woman had it on her phone. She had received it by email, but she didn't print out a hard copy to bring to the airport. So the gate agent wasn't going to let her on with the dog as a service animal, requiring her to pay $100 and some odd to carry a pet in cabin. So the paperwork reflected pet in cabin, not service animal. And so the flight attendant, the lead, saw this beautiful little dog out of its carrier. This is during boarding. I don't know why she saw it, because it wasn't her area of compliance. It was my area of compliance. She shouldn't have even been over there. But she should have been by her door. But so she asked the passenger to do this. The passenger didn't respond quickly enough. And so she called a CRO, a complaint resolution officer, to come over and handle the situation, she says. So the CRO is only following the rules they know, and that you have to have the hard copy of his paper, blah, blah, blah. So the passenger acquiesces. She wants to go home, so the dog goes in the carrier, but the zipper isn't closed the whole way. It's like open a little bit, so she could put her hand in there to, just feel better, and because that's why the dog's there. And the flight attendant calls the CRO. They left. Calls the CRO back on board, because she's not letting the boarding door close until that zipper is completely closed on top of this bag. If you're a flight attendant, have you worked with that kind of person? This was one of the first times I've experienced anybody like this, and I was just so on edge, because no one, except for myself, was trying to show care or consideration for this passenger who had a service animal, a psychiatric service animal, for a reason. And here we are, as an airline, making her feel very stressed and very put upon, and we're aggressive, It was just not called for. And the flight attendant was like, we're not closing this boarding door until that zipper is completely closed. And she's, oh my God. And that is before the door even closed. It seemed to get worse afterwards. So I have to sit in that airplane for 5 hours next to this person, and I honestly, the bile was rising in the back of my throat. I was so upset about how this passenger had been mistreated, honestly. And so what do I do from here? How do I work well with someone who clearly, it doesn't even seem like they're behaving like a human being? Again, this is like, I don't know, this is probably a year and a half ago, but I remember every minute of it. So what do I do? What do I do? Where do you turn? A book. A book is your best friend as a flight attendant. Always have a book. If you ever watched or read the book, Don't Panic, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Ford Prefect tells Arthur Dent to always have a towel on him, because With a towel, you could survive any environment. Well, for me, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. For me, it's a book. You have to have a book on you. Digital on your work device. You can't have it on your phone, because in my airline we can't look at our personal devices while passengers are on board. But on our work devices, we do have a Kindle app. So you have to have a book on your Kindle, Kindle app, or have a hard copy in your bag at all times. You have to have a book. Because you can just, honestly, you can sit in that jump seat next to that person who makes your teeth ache, even if you don't have any. And you can sit there quietly, politely reading your book. I personally, in this experience, I had to get up and stand over in the galley using the work light because it was so dark. But I could just get through periods of time reading a book. And then you do a trash walk or an aisle walk and get out of that area and encourage them to do something as well. And then you can stop and eat and nibble and whatever. But, you know, for me, the hardest part was to remove my ego. She should have done this. I don't believe she did the right thing. And for me, how I'm even talking about her in this video is so ego-driven. So what I have to do is remove my ego from the situation as well as I can. The biggest mistake, and I have made this mistake, I made it during that trip. The biggest mistake you can make is to go back into the back of the aircraft or the front, wherever that person is not sitting, and complain about them to the other coworkers, because there's no way to build a better solidarity amongst a crew than to hate the same coworker. And it just feels satisfying to go back there and go, can you believe what she just did? And blah, 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 blah. What's her number? And I admittedly, I have to admit, I very uncivilly went back to the back of the aircraft at one point and went, what the H is going on? Who does she think she is? And blah, blah, blah. The worst thing possibly that could have happened is that they agreed with me, because they had their own difficulties with them as well. So it was really the worst case possible, because who knows? They could have been best friends. And and we don't need to sow that energy and spread that energy, but I did. So I have to hopefully learn from my own mistakes in the future. Just keep it to myself, shut my mouth. Honestly, shut my mouth, read my book. Ta-da! So a book is something you have to have with you at all times. You know, you have to remain civil with each other. And I didn't not speak to them, but I did only just say things that were required, honestly, because if I had to pretend a small talk, I would have come across really, really badly. It would have turned out badly. Blah, blah, blah. Could I make this story any longer? So I'm not the hero of the story, because I did behave rather poorly in going back to my coworkers in the back, blah, 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 talking about them. So it was not good. It was not the right thing to do. I should have just shut my mouth and read my book and ate my cup noodles. But so there we are. Blah, blah, blah. Story time with Steven. I think that's probably going to be it. I'm going to go home, make something to eat, and then cuddle with the cats, play a little Starfield. I've got a couple more days off, and that's it. That's it for this very strange Vlogtober video. So I guess I'll see you tomorrow. All right, see ya. Bye. Fly safe.